In these videos, we're going to be starting to look at JavaFX, which is a way to do GUI, graphical user interfaces, using Java. Now, the thing you need to know about JavaFX is that Oracle, who owns Java, has decided not to support JavaFX anymore. They see web applications, I think, as being more important. They didn't think JavaFX as individual software installed on people's computers. I guess they don't think that's the future. However, there are a lot of JavaFX programs still out there, and there are still people still developing using JavaFX. So you really do need to understand it. And that really wouldn't be a big deal. They've turned over JavaFX to the open source community so that the open source community can continue to develop it and support it. And actually, that's probably a better thing because there's probably more support and more drive to get the features that users, and when I say users, I mean programmers, the features they want are going to get in because it's driven by programmers. They're developing the features as an open source thing. People contribute anything they might develop, and the product continues to grow. Here is the bigger issue. JavaFX is no longer built into the JDK in the newer versions. So we're probably using, at this point, Java JDK 15, JDK 16, JDK 17, JDK 8, version 8, which is technically called 1.8, or Java SE 8, was the last version that Oracle came out with that had JavaFX built into it. And configuring JavaFX in NetBeans or any other IDE, it's kind of a pain in the butt. To be honest, it's not because it's not built in the JDK. It's a couple packages and libraries you have to install and configure. It's way easier just to go get the older version of the Java development kit. And for what we're doing in class, it's more than enough. And we don't have configuration issues and compatibility issues with some of the newer versions that are kind of being developed on separate tracks. So that's a long way of saying, hey, we're going to go get this old version and you need to install it on your computer. And it will make your life a whole lot easier than trying to do it in a newer version of the JDK. So what I did here is in Google, I just did a search for JDK 1.8. The first thing that comes up is a link to Oracle's website. So this is the last archive download that they're supporting. And it has JavaFX built into it. So if we click on that, we can go to their page. This is the Java SE8 archive downloads. We can scroll down here. Windows 64-bit version is what I want. That's probably what you want too, unless you're working on Linux or something, or maybe even a Mac. But Windows 64 version is what I want. I'm going to click that to download it. And it asks me to review the policy. And then click that link. But here's the thing, it might ask you for an Oracle account. So if you don't have an Oracle account, how do you get it? Well, one, you can create an Oracle account. It's free, so they don't limit you from getting this. But for convenience sake, if you go to Sakai, into our course, CIT 265, in the resources folder, I have put that file so you can download it from there. So you don't have to get it from Oracle, but I did want to show you where to get it if you did need to get it. So that's what you want to do. You want to download the file. Once you have it downloaded, you want to double click it to open it. Yes, you want it to allow to make changes. That won't appear on the screen for the recording. This says it's also already been installed. Would you like to reinstall it? I have this on my computer already. I'm going to say yes, just so you can see what happens. It's not a big install. It doesn't take long. You've installed the Java development kit before. Here's the installation wizard. We would just take the defaults on everything. And it will install the Java development kit on your computer. Now let's go over to NetBeans. All right, so when you get NetBeans opened up and you go to make a new project, let's go ahead and do a new one. Normally we select Java with Ant, and we've been using Java applications. Now we're going to select JavaFX application. Okay. And when you come to this screen, by default, you may not have JDK 1.8 there. Okay, so JavaFX wants to run it, but it doesn't know about it. So you will have to go to Manage Platforms. So you'll click on Manage Platforms. And you can see I have JDK 17 there, and I have JDK 1.8. But JDK 1.8 wasn't initially there. So let me remove that, and I'll show you how to add the platform. So I'm going to add platform, Java Standard Edition. And where do I find it? So here you can see the path. It will not be there automatically for you. So in your C drive, you'll find program files. And then you'll go find Java. And then under Java, you'll see probably, if you're, depending on what version of the JDK you're using, if you're on 16 or 17, you'll see the file for that. Plus you'll see the one you just installed for JDK 1.8. And you'll want to hit next on that. And you can name it whatever you want, but usually the default is the best. So JDK, no space. I have a space there, but no underscore in this one. That's fine. I'm taking the default. And then you'll see it appear here as a platform option. So I have two versions of the Java Development Kit. Version 17, which is the latest and greatest. At least it was when we started this class, maybe. And JDK 1.8. So I've added that second JDK library to this. Now, when you started JavaFX, it probably came up and said you might have something like this. Can't automatically set up JavaFX. And that's because this JavaFX platform needs to be set to JDK 1.8. Okay. So if you didn't have it installed, you probably got this big red error message. And all you need to do is switch it to 1.8 and it will take care of itself. Because now NetBeans can find all the files it needs to make a JavaFX application. So my project name for this, I'm just going to create a blank one. I am keeping everything to the defaults and hitting finish. And here is the default application that I get. We can see a bunch of things. We have a start method here. We have a main method, which called something called launch with arguments. We're going to talk about all that soon. But you can see things here. There's a button. And there's something called a pane and a root and a scene and a stage. We're going to talk about all those things in upcoming videos. Let's just go ahead and run this the way it exists. It's just a little hello world application. Oop, I need to click down here. All right, I think I had a little issue because I had changed my packages when I was demonstrating how to install Java JDK 1.8 and making an option for you. So I just regenerated another application. So this is what you should have when you create your first new application. When you hit this run button to run the project, you'll get this little hello world window with a say hello world button. And when you click the button, you don't see anything. But if you look down here, it's system out.println. But we're using a GUI application here. This, we know that goes to the console or to the window. So we can go up to window. Let's look at the output window. That's control. We can push control 4. I can do this to see the output window. And now I click the button and you can see down here, it's adding hello world to the console. So this is just a little demo app that gets things started. And we will be taking a look at that and talking about how JavaFX works in upcoming videos.